Starting to see pictures, ain't you?
Well, I'll say it right off the top. I am a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. I love me some Pulp Fiction. I loved Inglourious Bastards, Django Unchained. He is a master filmmaker of taking genre movies, and this guy knows more about movies than anybody, turning them inside and out and creating something that's very Tarantino. What can I say? The Hateful Eight falls right into that category. It's a genre Western on its surface, but really, it's unlike a lot of Westerns I've ever seen, and certainly it's very ambitious. It's at nearly 3 hours. It's being presented in its initial engagements as a roadshow, what they used to be reserved seat engagements with an overture at the beginning, an intermission. It was shot in ultra Panavision, the first movie to be shot like this maybe in 50 years. They used lenses that hadn't been used since the mid 60s, folks. This is very ambitious on Tarantino's part to make a movie in the age of digital cinema. I applaud him alone for that. The plot has a stagecoach coming in a very, very snowy, wintry atmosphere in Wyoming a few years after the Civil War. On this stagecoach is John Ruth. He's known as the Hangman, and he has a fugitive handcuffed to him by the name of Daisy Domergue.
But when John Ruth, the Hangman, catches you, you don't dive no bullet in the back. When the Hangman catches you, you hang.
John Ruth is played by Kurt Russell. He's terrific in this film. And Jennifer Jason Leigh is Daisy, and she just gets beaten to a pulp and gives as good as she gets. This is a fun role for any man or woman. She runs with this. She's hilarious through the thing. In fact, there's great comic timing between the pair. In fact, I would call The Hateful Eight a comedy, really. I mean, some people might think Westerns can't be funny, but certainly there's a long line of them there are, and I think Tarantino's script is a riot throughout. Anyway, in this stagecoach along the way, they pick up a bounty hunter played by Samuel L. Jackson, and a sheriff, or at least he says he's the sheriff of these there parts, played beautifully by Justified's Walton Goggins. He is a highlight of this movie for me, as is Samuel L. Jackson, who really is the titular lead here. The snow snows them in, they can't get anywhere, so they stop at Minnie's Haberdashery, where they are surprised to find 4 other guys. One guy named Bob, played by Demian Bashir. Tim Roth plays Oswaldo Mowbray. Then there's Michael Madsen as Joe Gage. And finally, Bruce Dern, who plays Confederate General Sanford Smithers. This is your Hateful Eight. The first half of this movie is extremely talky and dialogue driven. The second half is extremely violent, but very cartoonish violence. I mean, I laughed my head off as these heads were blowing off. It's not to be taken seriously, but it's enormously entertaining, beautifully made, with a great musical score from Ennio Morricone, the legend. It is great that Tarantino finally got to work with this master musician, and he delivers on all counts. I love this movie. If you're a Tarantino fan like I am, if you're just a fan of good old-fashioned movie making when film used to be the thing, The Hateful Eight is for you, and I say, go.